I had wanted to do one with
haze
all
sriracha,
sriracha ace and Czech sauce. I thought that would be a really interesting film.
That would be cool as shit.
Because those two play with each other so well, you get the living qualities off both, and a little bit of the
earthiness
and the earthiness, that would all play well together. But,
that would, man.
But New England, I don't kind of that like New England play on it. But I don't know that, like I said, I don't know that we're going to make a hazy pills. I mean,
because they haven't done a hazy yet. Backview hasn't done a hazy. Remember we talked about? He's staying strong with his beliefs. Respect
and respect, man. You got to do what's
right.
Here.
Absolutely,
You got to do what's here. So that's important. I won't ask anybody to compromise themselves just because I want to play around and do something. But honestly, pretty much every brewery that I've approached, the first thing I've said is there any kind of beer that you've wanted to brew but you've been restrained on, or just weren't sure you wanted to brew it? I'm like, let's talk about that. Let's go from there. But some of them I've approached them and say, this is what I want to do. This is what I want to do. Like John, out the gate, I said, I want to do a Texas Brown Ale. I want to do a Texas Brown Ale.
I was like,
he said no.
Well, that's a great idea, but I was explaining this to him like he doesn't know anything about selling beer. Well, Channing, brown ales aren't exactly like the most popular beer right now. Yes, we did have. So we've done some brown ales. Yeah, Channing's like, come on, you guys have done Pub Crusher is like a dark English mild, and it sells well.
So is that your forte, English ales? Is that where you like to ride? Yeah.
We love English ales. English ales and German lagers are my two favorite sub-styles.
Nice.
Groupings
I can appreciate
that.
Yeah. So we're
let's do a Helles.
I'd be down, yeah.
All right.
I would really. So in the next segment, when we get into the next deal, let's talk shop. Let's dig into your head a little bit about the actual brewing process and what you're doing on the floor. We have to
wait for that?
Yes, it is. There's a small fee, but it's okay.
Okay,
don't worry.
Cool.
Brew day with this guy, by the way, is awesome. And I'm not paying him lip service since he's sitting next to me, but had a great brew day. I thoroughly enjoyed that day.
Hey man, thanks. Good. Yeah, glad to have you at the brewery.
It was good.
So who cleaned the mash tun?
Who was the guest?
Right.
Yeah.
That's exactly true. Hey, catch that, man! I got shit to do.
I'll be back in an hour.
We talked about that. Like when I brewed at Galveston Island, Jason, the head brewer there, he was busy brewing other beer, and he'd come in and check up on me, and we'd talk things over as I was brewing. And their test batch system is all manual labor. I mean, it's manual labor.
Hey, everything where we were was manual labor.
Yeah,
is there another way?
Yeah. But I mean, there's no rakes. You're the rake.
Right.
And
you can't. If you don't see the rakes.
Whenever we started the mash, he handed me the paddle, and he just looked at me and smiled, and he said, "Let me know when you get tired."
So Andy Ing best described it as like a juggling act. He's like, dude, you're like juggling. I'm like, well, yeah, I guess that's how it comes to. But anyway, we do have to pay our bills.
Yeah.
We'll be back right after this.
They're all we could afford. The Galactic Coast Power Hour. More with these two in just a minute.
What would you like from your bank or credit union? How about a mobile app that makes banking simple? How about free online banking and mobile bill pay? How about loan decisions made locally? How about 15 convenient locations? Associated Credit Union of Texas has all of these and more. Sounds like you should get associated. ACU of Texas, federally insured by the NCUA. For more info, visit acutx.org. Lamont Brands is a veteran-owned business serving the Houston, Clear Lake area and beyond. Their in-house capabilities include screen printing, embroidery, rhinestones, heat press transfers, and thermal flex design, as well as e-commerce solutions and on-site fulfillment. If you're looking to brand your business through custom apparel and or promotional products, Lamont Brands should be your first and only call. Lamont Brands is located at 920 Gemini in Houston. Give them a call at 281-286-7553 or visit them online at lamontbrands.com.
Hey, it's Adam Smasher, and ClearLakeToday.com is where I go to find restaurants, events, entertainment, services, and more in the Clear Lake and Bay Area. If you're looking to find a certain business in the Clear Lake area, you need to check ClearLakeToday.com. Now, if you are a business in the Clear Lake and Bay Area, make sure your business info is on ClearLakeToday.com. To advertise your business, contact Doug Meisinger by emailing Doug@ClearLakeToday.com.
When you're looking for a new home, John Wilkinson can help answer questions related to obtaining a mortgage lender up to finding and securing the best home for you. John will take your best interests as his own and provide valuable property and neighborhood information that is important to your family. Call John at 281-974-0739 or email him at john@jwgetsitsold.com to start looking for your new home.
Did you miss us? We're back. Live from the ACU of Texas studios, the Galactic Coast Power Hour with John Ennis and Mighty Mike Taylor.
That's right. We're back with the Galactic Coast Power Hour, and we're visiting with John and Kathryn Holler from Houston's Holler Brewing Company.
Yo.
And Channing, no last name necessary, from Nobi Public House.
That's a weird last name, man.
Right, how do you spell that, Channing?
Herrin.
No G.
Sans G.
No G.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Sans G.
Now, when there's no G, when there's two R's, isn't there always a G at the end? I don't know how that works.
No.
But, okay, so I think we're about to... we're drinking some of the collaboration beer. I think we're about to. Actually, here we go.
We're going to talk some.
That's more collaboration.
Okay, more collaboration. Yeah,
we're gonna talk some shop with John.
All right.
Kathryn here.
Let's do it.
So, how many different yeasts do you use?
We have probably used since we brewed I think we brewed something like 160 batches since we've opened.
Fair enough.
And that's probably represented by something on the order of 70 different beers. And those 70 beers probably used I'd say somewhere between 15 and 25 different yeasts.
Nice.
We don't have a house yeast.
You don't reuse?
We will reuse if it's convenient. If we've got, if
you can guarantee vitality and
if I've got a
virility,
like I brewed an ESB today,
you have a scope?
And then we'll be brewing a milk stout in 2 weeks, and we'll use the same yeast. But that's just because they happen to be near each other on the schedule. If we don't need a beer that uses that yeast, we'll just dump the yeast and get something else.
So, do you use a dry yeast or a wet yeast?
Wet yeast.
Wet yeast.
We call them liquid yeasts, but
liquid. I call them wet because I use the dry yeast at Galactic. We had amazing success with dry yeast.
I have heard really good things. It's one of those things where
it was something you won't expect when someone who, when I was a home brewer, was a meticulous. Yeah. You'd get the either the Y yeast, which came in the pack that you broke, or the California.
Yeah.
Which the White Labs.
The White Labs.
White Labs.
I have heard people have had great success with the lagers and ales, just throwing bricks right into the fermenter.
Commercially, though, the White Labs is rather expensive.
It is expensive. Yeah, I know.
But is it better in quality? I mean, does it?
I don't know.
I
got to be honest.
Well, you're saying you don't reuse yeast that much, so that's affecting.
It's a big expense.
It's a large expense.
We really got the wake up call. Not a wake up call, maybe it was, but we've been in business for about 6 months, and the White Labs. One of their account managers was in town. It was their key account manager was in town, and she contacted us and said, "Hey,
how are you doing?
Yeah, you're one of our key accounts." And I thought, "Damn, we're like the smallest brewery."
For real,
we're one of the smallest breweries, and we're one of your key accounts. And that's because when we opened, we weren't brewing very often at all. So we were brewing once a week, and we were brewing something different every week. And
no, that shit was when I hooked up with Chris White. It was insane. I was like, what?
Oh,
he was like, this is what we'll do. We'll give you a. Do you have a Carlsberg flask? Negative. I do not have a Carlsberg flask.
Yeah, we.
You can propagate yeast. I mean, propagating yeast is a separate deal from a brewery.
Whole other science.
Yeah, it's a whole other science.
Yeah. For a brewery, you need a really good lab to grow up yeast from a slant.
And to just to store that slant and have it on recall. Yes.
Yeah.
To cultivate, which is how
one day maybe we'll do that. I don't know.
Right. Other than that, that's the depths you have to go, and that's why they can pay that.
Yeah.
Now with the bricks of the dry yeast
or whatever.
The SO4, the SO5 depends on your temperature. We found SO4 to us was basically our house yeast. As long as we kept it at the temperature that it needed to be 0 esters, what we brewed.
Yep.
Right.
Yep.
So and that because we were in a confined space.
What's a brick of that? What did it go for? Like $50?
Dude, it's like $50, dude. It's totally $50.
Oh. Sorry, technical things.
Dude, it's totally $50.
Yeah, $50 for a pitch, right?
Boom! It goes out the deal. Rather than all right. Well, I can give you a 1-barrel pitch for $100,
Yeah, it's about $250
and then you can grow it up to whatever you need it to be before you pitch it into your.
Now we just do that. We bite the bullet and buy. When we first opened, especially, we weren't reusing.
You can add.
At all.
You can hit. So what do you do? Hit exponential growth phase and just keep adding beer, or what?
No, we just buy a pitchable. So,
God damn.
Yeah.
And what's your system size?
7-barrel.
So you buy a 10-barrel pitch because he doesn't have a 7-barrel pitch.
Well, I don't know. It's whatever. It's a 1.5 liter.
Yeah, because he didn't have a 7. It was like all in, the.
It gives us it gives us a good 10s, fermentation.
10, 20.
But
the 60-barrel, I was like, yeah, you can stop there, dude. I'm impressed.
We're not doing that.
I'm impressed what you're getting for these pitches. I really am.
Yeah, it is
exorbitant amount of money.
When we opened, we didn't reuse yeast at all, and we knew that was like that's how we became a key account, right? And we knew that was low-hanging fruit that we could pick off later. But we said, I knew that we wanted the day we opened, we had 6 different beers on tap, and I wanted them all to use different yeast. I wanted them all to taste completely different from one another. And to do that, we had to use 6 different yeasts, and we were going to continue from that from then on for the next several months. We had a whole clip of recipes we were going to use, and I didn't want to worry about. We had a million things to worry about. I didn't want to worry about yeast management holding us up or anything.
Respect,
I thought, well, some money's going to be going out the door, but I know that whenever we're ready, we can get on that and kind of manage it a little bit. And so now, since then, that's how any business starts. You start in a completely suboptimal way, and you eventually, when you get the time, you optimize, right?
You refine as you go, yeah.
Refine as you go. And so we now are, after about 6 months of runtime, becoming a key account, and we started brewing a little bit more often, so there's more opportunity to reuse yeast because I do want to have several different yeasts represented. I do want to have several different flavors, but hey, a milk stout and the ESB use the same.
You can store them in kegs.
So yeah, if I can, 2 weeks or so. 2 weeks is as far as I like to go between. You
just have to maintain a lab. If you maintain a lab, you can keep all that yeast that you're getting. I mean, seriously.
Yep.
If that's the way you want to go, that's great, and I applaud that really truly because so many people underestimate the quality of not only good yeast but yeast that is ready to perform the way it's supposed to.
Yeah, we still
create the esters at the temperature levels that you're trying to get.
We're pretty conservative. I mean, our goal now is that we reuse that we on average we're getting a new pitch only at least every other brew. So if I'm brewing 10 times, I'm not getting any more than 5 new pitches, which is still crazy. I mean, I know breweries are like, hey, look, I get a new pitch once every 3 months.
If I was doing liquid yeast, what you just said to me would be absolutely fucking crazy. It really would be.
Yeah.
But if I was doing dry yeast, because of the cost and
you get a new pitch every brew if you want.
You could, which is pretty much what we did. I never reused it because I didn't have a lab. I couldn't confirm anything about that middle core of the yeast that I needed to. I really couldn't. Mm-hmm. You can't, and without that, it's like we had zero flaws going out the door. I mean, we had tested everything for a year before we did anything, so we already had our, So to me, to hear you say that is,
But it's. I think there's a major difference or a major consideration is your portfolio. I hate the word portfolio. Your selection of beers, right? So, I mean, if all of my beers were American ales and I were only using Chico, I'd be comfortable. I've got a lab. I've got a rudimentary lab. But the problem is,
eventually, that's the progression there. Now you're once you get a lab, I think you'll be able to at least convince yourself that you can reuse it more than once or twice. But I've heard of.
Well, it's the problem. But the problem, Mike. The problem is I don't have a. Let's say I finish my. I mentioned earlier. We use one of the yeast we use a lot in multiple beers is English ale.
Absolutely.
So we use in our ESB.